Welcome to an A. Before we get started, gotta do some YouTube etiquette. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to the channel to keep up with all our little messages. Also, follow along with us on Instagram. My name is Patty, and I will be your host for this lovely evening. Got some ambiance, got some time. I should have put a candle. That's another thing I was missing. I didn't have a candle to do the YouTube thing. I got fake fire. That should count. The last time I was here, I shared some fun facts about me. They weren't that fun. They were still facts. And I thought I would do another thing this time. I'm going to share my 3 favorites animals, and then my 3 least favorite animals. We're just gonna talk about animals. So my 3 favorite animals are wolves, penguins, and the third one changes depending on what I find fun and cool in that moment. Currently it's dogs, but it gets changed. Sometimes it's big cats like lions and tigers. Basically animals that you really shouldn't be petting is most of my favorite ones. Least favorite animals: cats, platypus, cats, platypus, cats, platypus, cats, platypus, cats, platypus. I can say that till I'm blue in the face. They're just the worst animals. Platypus, first of all, to be a mammal, they're a mammal. They have venom and they lay eggs. Yeah, with that alone, you should not like them. And then cats, because that's self-explanatory. Yeah, I feel lighter that I've shared that. This is the last month of the Game Changer series, and tonight we're going to have a message brought to us from the lovely Miss Alana. And before we head off to see the message, I thought we could play a little game. I remember a few years back on the interwebs, One Gotta Go, they were everywhere. Everywhere you turn, it was a One Gotta Go list. Here, there, da. So I thought we could do that tonight. So I got 3 One Gotta Go's. Let's do the first one. Is pies. Peach cobbler could go, is my answer. I'm not sure what yours is, but if cooked fruit, it just should not be. No, you can make that apple pie and it still be wrong. It could be blueberry pie. The only fruit you can cook is cacao, because that's chocolate. And I don't even know if that's fruit. Let's do this next one. Breakfast foods. Breakfast foods is my favorite kind of food. It's one of my favorite genres. And from this lovely little picture, grits could go. Grits don't gotta be there at all. I don't care if it's sugar, salt, eggs. Like, you can't compete with eggs. And you can't compete with bacon. And then pancakes, if the edges are crispy, oh yes. It's like manna from heaven. It's this last one. But in this one, we're gonna do different though. Instead of One Gotta Go, we're gonna do One Gotta Stay. It's these comedians. And it's One Gotta Stay, because I only like one. Jim Carrey is the only one that's gonna stay from this list. The rest of them could go. They could just go. Then no qualms about it whatsoever. Jim Carrey. Fire Marshal Bill or Bob? I don't remember his name. What? Bruce Almighty? Yeah, no. Yes, man? No, that's staying. The rest of them, meh. Awesome. Let's take this moment now to sit down, take notes, and listen to Miss Alana's message.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to 180. My name is Miss Alana. If you don't know me, I've been volunteering for 180 for a few years now, and I love it so much. I can't wait to meet all the new faces and just get to be in person with you guys again. And just thank you to Miss Patty for opening and hosting and welcoming you guys all here tonight. And I just want to share a quick message with you guys that I hope can bring you like peace and comfort and just a good feeling knowing that that God is there and that He cares for you and He loves you. And so I just wanted to share a quick story about a time that I felt that I was being loved on. And so for my bridal shower, if you don't know, I got married back in February. And so my sister was my maid of honor. If you don't know, Miss Maya is my sister. So if you've already seen her host or seen a message from her, you can put the two and two together. That's my awesome sister. But she was my maid of honor. And so she put together my bridal shower. And so she made it a complete surprise. I wasn't allowed to know anything about it, which, if you know me, I figure things out really, really quickly. I'm not easily surprised. And so she made it all a surprise. And when I got there, it was full of literally all of my favorite things. She decorated it with sunflowers. We had a breakfast with like French toast, potatoes, $1 Million bacon. It's like bacon with maple syrup on it. It's so good. We had fruit bowls there. And then she had dessert from a place called Misha's Cupcakes, which is one of my favorite dessert places ever. And then also, of course, all of my friends, my close friends and family were there also. And so it was just a really, really awesome time where I really saw how the people around me truly loved me. But I think the best part for me was towards the end, my sister had bought me a new Bible, and on the cover of it, it has sunflowers on the cover, and it has a little Bible verse. And she had the people at my bridal shower write in, like, circle in their favorite verse and then write a little note for me next to it, and just all the encouraging messages and all the thoughts that people had written down for me so I would just be prepared in this next stage of my life just truly showed me that there were people around me that cared about me and loved me and were truly glad that I was there. And so I know for a fact that for me, all of those people, I really wouldn't have known them if it wasn't for my church. Obviously, my family, you grow up with your family, but with my church family was most of my friends there. So I just am so grateful to God that I was able to have such awesome, awesome friends showing me love in that way. And so they noticed the things that were unique to me. They noticed the things that I personally love and cherish, and they threw a party to put all those things together. And so at 180, we just really want you guys to know that you are unique and that you have a purpose and that you are loved here at 180. We just we love to come and serve, and at the same time we do it because we want to know you guys better and we want to just dive deeper in supporting you guys and being there for you guys and just becoming friends that you guys can look up to and talk to and just truly know that we love you and that we care for you guys. And sometimes it's hard, especially for you guys with where you're at, that a lot of times it feels like nobody cares and it feels like you're just left alone, and that there's not really anyone that you can depend on or trust. And we want to be open and honest with you guys and knowing that we know that's a reality in your lives, and we want to counteract that. We want to show you guys true love and what that looks like. And where we get that from. It seems kind of weird because sometimes you're thinking, oh my gosh, like how can someone really care? How can someone really love someone in that way? And we just know that we're able to do it because of the love that God Himself has shown us. And so a lot of the times it's hard to love on somebody, it's not always easy. But when we remember the love that God has shown to us, the love that God has extended to us, it makes it so much easier to love other people because we just want to share that and spread that to everyone. And so I just want to tell you guys about that because I know being a teenager is not easy. It's really, really difficult. It's really hard. A lot of times people aren't understanding you. You're going through a bunch of changes. Things are changing all the time in front of your eyes, and it just seems like everything is unstable. But we want 180 to be a place where you guys can come and know that when you're there, you can be yourself. You can be your whole self. You don't have to hold back. You can tell us things that you might be afraid to say. We're not going to shy away or think, oh my gosh, like I can't possibly love this person. Like that's not what we're thinking. We want you guys to feel open and comfortable in coming to 180 and spending time with us. And so I just want to show you guys, tell you guys of how different God's love is for us than we have for each other. For us, it's very easy to get mad at someone or be hurt by someone, and now we would no longer want to love on that person. But with God, He's not the same way. We sin against Him all the time, every single day, and He still loves us. He still cares about us, and He still offers us grace and tells us that, you know what? I get that you messed up, but you can still come to me and I still love you. Like there's nothing that you're going to do that's going to make God not love you anymore or not care about you anymore. And that's an amazing thing because there's no fear in that. There's a verse in the Bible. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm not wrong, but I'm probably going to be. I believe it's 1 John. It's in 1 John, and it basically says how there's no fear in love because perfect love casts out all fear. And so it's this idea that when we are in communion with God and we are in communion with His perfect love, we no longer need to fear because He's not going to take that away. He's not going to take His love away from us. He's not going to decide that He doesn't want us anymore. Like once we are in His family, we're His and we're His forever. And we don't have to be fearful and nervous about, oh my gosh, like what if I mess up? What if I do something wrong? God doesn't record those and say, remember when you stole that $10 bill from the person next to you 5 weeks ago? Yeah, I'm still going to get you back for that. Like, He's not thinking that. And so that's so refreshing to know that there's grace for us. And I just want to share with you guys a few Bible verses about how we know and see that God shows His love for us. So in Psalm 139, verse 13 and 14, it says this. It says, "For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well." And so this verse, those two verses, just show us how before we even are born, like from conception, God is working and knitting us together and making us. Like He made you the way that you are on purpose. I know that might be hard to believe, and sometimes it's hard for me to believe because I'm like, God, why would you make me like this? Why couldn't I be like that? Like my hair, it's really annoying to work with, and sometimes I wish I had different hair. But God made me with this hair on purpose, even down to my skin color. It's not easy being Black in America. Sometimes it's really hard and it's really frustrating, and it's like, man, God, like, why is it this way? but God made it so for me to be Black on purpose. It wasn't an accident. And so there's so many other things about ourselves that we may not like or we may disdain. And God says, no, I made you that way. And I had a purpose in making that way. And I made you that way because I love you. And so we have to embrace our uniqueness and embrace those things that make us different, and know that God gave us those things for a reason and for a purpose. And so the next verse I wanted to share, it's in Romans. So 8:28 says this, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. And so in here, it shows us that we are called for a purpose. When we are in the family of God, when we are adopted by him, and we are going to him and loving him, that he tells us we have a purpose. Like, there's a purpose for you here on this earth, and that nothing is wasted. It all works out for good. And sometimes it's hard to really understand and see, especially in the midst of something just really, really bad and negative happening. But in hindsight, looking back, you can see how those things that we see that are truly negative and are truly things that are painful somehow work for our good and somehow work for our benefit. And God promises that. So nothing in our life is wasted and nothing in our life is meaningless. But God uses all of those things to work for our good because of the fact that he loves us. And so I just hope you guys are encouraged and see how that shows that he loves us. And the last verse I'll share with you guys is John 3:16. I'm sure you guys know it and I've heard it over and over again. But it says that, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son, and whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And so that's just a precious thing to know, that because God loves his people so much, that he gave a sacrifice for them to be able to spend eternity in heaven with him. That though we sin against him, though we mess up, though we fall over and over, that he's still there for us, and he still cares for us, and he still loves us, you know. And people are going to fail us here on earth. People are not perfect. They're human. And so I just want you to remember that with God, there's no like, okay, that's it, I'm done with you, I give up. That's not how it is. That God, he seeks after those that are his. He will go and find and grab hold of those that believe in him. And so just remember that when we put our faith and trust in God, when we just so that we trust him despite what's going on, he takes care of us and he protects us, and he does all of these things because of the fact that he loves us. So remember that though it may seem like things are bad right now, and honestly they probably are bad, like it's not always a good time, just remember that God loves you and he hasn't forgotten you, and he hasn't forsaken you, that you can go to him and just cry out to him in your anger and your hurt and your frustration and anything, and he's going to receive that and he's going to answer you because he loves you guys. Thank you for this night. Thank you for allowing me to be able to speak to the kids in 180 today, and just allowing us to be able to have a platform to be able to just speak life to them and just remind them of the truths that we know that we have when we're in you, that we are loved and we're loved by you immensely. And it doesn't matter what we do or don't do, you're always still going to love us and show love to us and show grace to us, Lord. So I just pray that you make that real in these kids' lives, that you can show them how true your love is, and how big and grand, and how it's not flimsy like how we might love each other on sometimes, but that yours is always confident, always true, and always on steady ground, Lord. So I just thank you for this night, and I pray for the rest of these kids' weeks, that they may have a fruitful week, that it may be just full of noticing more of who you are, Lord. And so I thank you for this time, and I just praise you for being the God that you are, that loves us and shows us your care for us, Lord. In the name of your son, Jesus, amen. Please remember that. I can't wait until we get to meet again face to face, so that we can show you guys the love that God has shown us. And so I'm super glad that Miss Jess let me teach this lesson today, and just remember that you are loved. Bye.
Thank you, Miss Alana, for that amazing message. And thank you all for joining us this evening. Before you head off, take a moment to go over the discussion questions. Be well and be safe. Till next week. Bye.